Here's an idea, just so I know where to return to. I'll put a smoke marker here. There. We can go here and go effect smoke, smoke, medium smoke. There we go. Alright, let's go see if this live is up and going. Alright, I think it got like another browser going at the same time, but it seems to be going. So let's go back to DCS. So hello people, I am going to be doing a test flight in a Mosquito Mark 6 from Benny-sur-Mer, and I'm going to go attack sort of a logistics column near Caen. And so I've positioned like a few tanks on fire and things so that I'll have smoke to know where I'm going. I've put my target in a light colored field, so they're going to be easier to spot visually. It's very basic stuff, but I'm very basic in my knowledge of the plane. So I've positioned the plane here, like I will have to turn on the runway and then try to take off. It's very difficult to control on the ground, so I still have a hard time taking off at times. So you might get to see me crash, but I've done better the last 2-3 times. Even getting the gear up is difficult in this thing. So hopefully you'll enjoy my little tests here. So not expecting too much out of this, but it could be fun. Alright, so we're in the cockpit. I figured I'd show you my target. It's like that column here in that light colored field. So as you can see, there's a bunch of fires around. Shouldn't make it easy to spot. So that's the situation there. Now in the cockpit here, there are quite a few things that are important in the Mosquito. First, these two controls here, which control the propeller pitch, RPM, things like that. I usually keep that near full for takeoff, but then when I'm going to be doing my attacks, if I'm diving, I might pull it back a little bit like this. Then you have the throttle here. I don't want to play with it too much now so that I don't move around too much. But those are your throttle controls. So it's good to have an axis for each, like to do it separately like this. For this one I put it on one axis and it's fine with me. And then you have like separate controls for your guns, which will go here, your cannons, which will go here, and the rockets, which maybe we don't see it. I don't know where the control is. Then you've got those obscure controls for the flaps, where you have to this little thing there that you have to move out of the way if you want to give it some flaps. But I've found that you can actually take off without flaps, so I use them mostly just a little bit for landing. And then you have that little thing that I still don't quite understand for the landing gear, but this is the lever. It sort of goes halfway up, and then you have to play with this, and then you can bring it all the way up. And you can see those lights here for the undercarriage. So if it's green, it means they're down. Once they get red, it means they're in. So that's some of the thing that we need. For the sight, you need to have a certain control, and once you activate it, you see the view shifts to it. But normally, I guess the pilot flies like this on this side, because there's another seat next to me there. So that would be where the co-pilot would seat. So that's more or less how things work. Now, here you have like the master arm, and you know me, I always put my master arm on the ground, even though you're never supposed to do that, because otherwise I would forget. Now here you'll see that I have like a nice Canadian plane. It's got a fun little logo with a lumberjack, and you've got like a maple leaf there on the front. And on the wings, you can see I'm armed with rockets. So if I want to fire rockets, if we go back to the cockpit, again, I'm not supposed to do that, but I'm going to arm my rockets with this little thing here, which is where you do that. So hopefully I won't hit the trigger or anything during takeoff so that I don't blow myself up with my own rockets. But since I tend to forget things, sometimes I prefer to have everything armed, because it's nothing worse than diving on a target and trying to shoot your guns and your rockets and they won't come off the rails. So that's it. Let's try this. Like I said, my taxiing skills are so-so, but you have like a main brake that you should map, and you can see on the stick there, it's that lever, that thing there. And a little bit like on a Spitfire or on some of the MiG planes, you have to hold the brake and then push the rudder in the direction where you want to go to get your differential braking. So that's how you turn. So getting the plane straightened out for takeoff is not always simple. I found that these little needles here, which tell you like where it's going in a turn, left and right, can be useful for that. Again, I'm very new to this, so you'll see an example there. I want to turn left, press the brake a little bit. I want to turn right, press the brake a little bit. And just a little bit. You don't want to give it too much in any direction, because it tends to want to make nice little circles. And from videos I've seen, the procedure to take off is to set the brake and then give it full power and then release the brakes. Well, I don't like that method because it makes me crash a lot, so I just go very progressively so that I stay in control. Which you can see I'm not very good at. So I think what I'll do is I'll just brake and turn around. It's better to do this than to crash on takeoff, I guess. So let's taxi back to the end of the runway. Turn like this. I think if you pull on the stick, it helps also to get the tail on the ground. With the power of those two engines, it keeps the tail on the ground, so you get like your tail wheel to help. I'll try to do this correctly. As you can see now, I want to turn left, but it takes forever to stop turning right. So that's why I don't like the method of applying the brakes and giving it full power, because I find that I start veering in one direction, I can't bring it back, and then I crash into the hangars and all that good comedy stuff that ensues. So let's try this again. Let's try to put it fairly straight here. You can see that needle I was talking about there underneath the gun sight. Sort of helps to tell you if you're flying fairly straight. So now I'm gonna give it a little power. Seems pretty steady. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna release the stick, get the nose to go up a bit. And now we're gonna give it full power. And now I have rudder authority. I can give it a bit of left rudder. And there she goes. She lifts off on her own. No need for flaps. And then we can have fun with this that I don't quite understand. So we put it there, we put it there, we put it there. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's good. And if we look on the outside, it's probably gonna go in. There we go. So now we've got the wheels in, we're in flight. We've managed that part of the flight. So, as I said, once I'm airborne, I like to bring the throttle down a little bit. I think I've been told that for the boost, if you keep it between 8 and 12 for regular flight, it's good. So, somewhere there seems pretty good. Now I can use my trim. And then I can head south there to those fires. Does that thing work? Compass. I'm really flying VFR on this, and as you can see in the distance there, we have our light colored field. Right here is our target. So that's where I'm going. I'll try to line up with it so that I can do some cannon passes with a few rockets. If someone wants to fire all rockets at the same time, I think it's this switch here, but I prefer to just shoot 2 at a time because you've got 4 on each wing, so you can fire 4 times basically. So let's get the gun sight going. I like to set it like for the biggest distance because I'm doing air to ground. And so we'll get ready to line up with this group of vehicles there. I like to put my indicators because I'm often wondering where my rudders are, where everything else is. So let's try this. So I fired a few machine gun rounds, then cannon rounds, then 4 rockets. That went well. It's like the second time I actually fire rockets. So I'm fairly precise with them up close, but you're always afraid that the plane's gonna blow up with you at the same time. Yeah, we did get some good hits there. I'll try to fire the remaining rockets. I got like 2 on each side. On the truck that's a little bit away from the column because I think it's got a AAA next to it. So we'll try that. So I'm trying to climb a little bit. Make a right turn like that. And we'll dive for that one. I think I see the AAA there. I don't know if I hit anywhere close to it. Almost feel like I hurt my plane more than I hit the ground targets when I do that. It's scary. Got that Kuba wagon. There are only a few trucks left, so try to line them up. Oh, and I crashed. I think I wanted to hit that last truck there a little bit too much, and when I pulled up, I didn't have enough lift on the wing. But there's not much left. That's the cool thing. I did hit the AAA gun there. I had put it as inactive. I didn't want to get shot by it. But yeah, so that's my little Mosquito test there. I'm going to try it again just to see if I can fly around and land it back at base. So let's fly again. And pick the plane there. Okay, let me maybe just reset this here. Alright, so again, let's do things we're not supposed to do. Like this. This is going surprisingly well this time. Must be experience kicking in. Alright, let's see if I can play with that landing gear okay. You see? Get confused. There we go. Alright, now it's in. Bring the boost down just a little bit. Now the plane line seems pretty steady. Let's turn on our sights. The sounds are pretty cool. It's not really an aerobatic plane. So let's go line up that line of trucks. We'll try to just get all our rockets off in one pass, and then we'll try to fly back to base and land. See what we did. Oh, we did pretty well. If you get enough rockets in one pass, you can destroy pretty much the whole thing there. They're pretty powerful. So we've got our smoke that we positioned earlier. That's my airfield over there. I'm gonna go try to line up. We're gonna slow down. What I'll do is I'll get the little locket for the flaps away, and I'm gonna lower the flaps just a little bit. There we go. Should help slow us down. Now let's try the gear. One down, two down. We've got our green lights. We can confirm that they're down like this. And since this thing can actually take off without flaps, I don't want to have too much flap when I land. So let's try to keep it in control all the way to the runway. Actually, I could just do it like this. Let's get the tail down, do some slow braking. This is much harder than it looks. You can see on my controls to the left how I'm pumping the brakes. Keeps it under control. And so here we are. So now we can apply right rudder. With the brakes. It's weird how it doesn't really want to turn, even with just the right brake applying. Let's just park it here in the grass. Looking good. There, and let's get those flaps up. Like this. There we go. And I think I saw the magneto controls here earlier, so click, 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 click. And then we can see the two propellers coming to a stop. Hey, so we brought it back, that Canadian wonder. So I hope you enjoyed that little test flight. I'm gonna have to practice this a little bit more if I want to get good at it, but it's interesting. It's got a lot of different things going for it. It's got the machine guns in the nose there that we can see. Underneath you've got the cannons, and then you've got the rockets, and there is a bomb bay that I haven't tried yet, so lots of things. So I hope you enjoyed.